Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So before I dive into this book review, which I'm very, very excited to do, I want to just say again, thank you all so much for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I know I've said this in a couple videos now, but I am completely blown away. I've had this channel for less than 10 months, and I can't believe I already made it to 1,000 subscribers. You guys are the greatest. So I posted on Instagram a poll about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point, asking what books you guys would be interested in me doing a giveaway, and I listed a couple of my favorite novels that I would love to share with you guys, and I had a tie. So to thank you guys, I will be doing 2 giveaways to thank you guys for getting me to 1,000 subscribers, and they're going to be December Park by Ronald Malfi and Heart-Shaped Box by Joe Hill. These are absolutely brand new copies. I just got them in the mail. For those of you who are interested, December Park is not an easy paperback to find. This is one of the newer pressings of it. Open Road Media did do a re-release of this because this book has been out of print for 5 years now, but it is one of my favorite books of all time. Did read it earlier this year. Ronald Malfi is an author that just blows me away. So I'll be giving this book away in the holidays, so sometime between Thanksgiving and Christmas is kind of like a Christmas themed giveaway because even though it takes place in the summer, it is called December Park. And starting today, so Thursday, I'm gonna have a little giveaway on my Instagram to commemorate Halloween as well as 1,000 subscribers. So I will be giving away Joe Hill's Heart-Shaped Box. This is my favorite book by Joe Hill. This is probably one of my top 5 favorite books of all time, probably. This is a really unique read. I think it does a really interesting take on ghosts, as well as a really interesting take on portraying mental health. It's definitely one of the most unique rides and stories I've ever been on. I think I read this book in like 2 days. I couldn't put it down. So I definitely wanted to share this book with you all as well. So to enter in my giveaway, just check out my Instagram at Violet Prynne, just like my YouTube name, and it will have all of the details on how to win this book. I think I'm gonna have the giveaway open for like a week. The one thing I will say is because I'm paying for all of this with my own money and all of the shipping, I do have to limit it to residents of the United States just because I don't really think I can afford full international shipping right now. But yeah, so take a look at my Instagram for all the details on my giveaways. And yeah, thanks again for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. That's so freaking cool of you guys, and I appreciate it so much. Okay, so let's get into this review. So I got this back, I don't know, like 3 months ago in one of my unplugged book box unboxings. This is The Stranger Behind You by Carol Goodman. I was so excited to read this book because it was marketed to me as kind of this like gothic Rebecca-esque story. It's not. It is nothing like Rebecca at all. The only thing I will say is it's kind of as much of a ghost story as like Rebecca is a ghost story. Do with that what you will. But this was a 5-star read for me. I devoured this book. This book is so cool. It is so unique. And it is a really, really interesting mystery. It's a crime mystery. It is like journalism expose mystery. It is just a whole lot of things. So I'm going to read the back for you guys really quickly. So it says, journalist Joan Lurie has written a seething article exposing a notorious newspaper tycoon as a sexual predator. But the night it goes live, she is brutally attacked. Traumatized and suffering the effects of a concussion, she moves into a highly secure apartment building in Manhattan called The Refuge, which was at one time a Magdalen laundry. Joan should be safe here. So how can she explain the cryptic incidences that are occurring? Lillian Day is Joan's new 96-year-old neighbor at the Refuge. In 1941, Lillian witnessed a mysterious murder that sent her into hiding at the Magdalen laundry, and she hasn't come out since. As she relates her harrowing story to Joan sees striking similarities to her own past. Melissa Osgood, newly widowed and revengeful, has burning questions about her husband's recent death. When she discovers a suspicious paper trail that he left behind, she realizes how little she knew about her marriage. But it seems Joan Lurie might be the one who has the answers. As these three lives intersect, each woman must stay one step ahead of those who are desperate to make sure the truth is never uncovered. So if you have an interest in, like, journalism, especially, like, investigative journalism, if you have any kind of love for, like, kind of like the Gossip Girl, posh, like, elitist upper crust New York society, if you like 1940s New York gangster stories, this book has all of that. And that sounds kind of all over the place, but it's not. We get the story told through two different perspectives, surrounding three main characters, all female, all very strong, independent women, with very different motives, kind of driving them all to this kind of, this climax of the story. There's a lot of history in this. There's a lot of stuff in here is actually based off of the author's mother's own experiences. And if you read the back afterward from the author, it really goes into depth. Really goes in depth on how much of the character Lillian Day was actually inspired by the author's mother, which I thought was really, really cool. But yeah, this is one of those books that I just had to keep reading because I needed to figure out what was going on. There's definitely some supernatural elements in it, but it's primarily just a focus on the motivations of these three different women to kind of solve this scandal going on in the high society journalism world. I thought it was absolutely incredible. We follow our main reporter who writes this initial story exposing, again, this magazine tycoon. Then we follow his wife and how she is affected by it, as well as our reporter's neighbor, who basically has very similar stories and experiences from her own personal youth. I really don't want to give too much away because I just thought that this was one of the most unique, fun, very feminist thriller stories that I've read in a very long time. This book isn't scary. It's a lot of winding mysteries, and it's a lot of deception, and it really leads you to believe one thing and then like blindsides you with something else. Very akin almost to like Riley Sager. It's definitely a little bit more overly feminist, not that that's a bad thing in any way, but I really, really like it, and I really like the way that Carol Goodman parallels these three different women. None of these women are perfect. They're all actually quite flawed, and it's a lot of them dealing with their flaws that make this story so interesting and relatable. I really like that it's hard to like any of these characters, but it's also really hard to dislike any of these characters. They feel very, very real, very tangible, very relatable. And at the end of the day, I will say I did actually really love all of the characters. But I really liked how much Carol Goodman humanized these characters and made them just, again, so believable and realistic. They all make a lot of very questionable decisions. They make a lot of like anger-fueled decisions. There are some vengeful moments. There are some very crazy moments, I would say, between these characters. And it's really interesting to see where their motivations come from. And I loved this. I really wanted to solve the mystery, figure out how everything was intertwined and connected. And I thought this book did just an absolutely perfect job of taking three very, very different women and mingling them together to make such a great, fun, cohesive, thrilling story. So I highly, highly recommend this. It does kind of have almost like a gothic tone to it. A lot of the story is very dependent on this apartment building that Joan does live in, but not in like the traditional gothic sense where like the building is also a character. It's definitely not. It really is just a straightforward setting, but it's a setting with enough mystery behind it that it does make it very pivotal to the story in the way that a mansion would be in a traditional gothic novel. Not a gothic pacing at all. This is very, very fast-paced, very, very contemporary, story. I will say a lot of the flashbacks to the 40s are really, really cool. You do really feel like you're in like Coney Island during like the height of all of like the gangs of New York. It's really, really fun. When they're talking about the journalism scenes, you really feel like you're in that kind of high fashion, Vogue kind of world. It gives off a lot of Gossip Girl vibes. I really liked this. This was such a unique read for me. It wasn't at all what I was expecting, but I didn't want to put it down. I wouldn't really call this a horror story. It is a supernatural story. It is a ghost story of sorts. And it is definitely like kind of like a crime thriller, murder mystery tale, but it's not scary. Even though it has all of those elements, it's really not scary. But I did absolutely adore it. I think this goes into like my pile of books on cozy horror, except it's more like realistic psychological thriller that's kind of warm and fuzzy at the end. I don't know. It's a unique read, but it is really, really fun, and I do highly, highly recommend it. If you're into like really intense horror or like very gruesome, grotesque crime stories, you know, like The Chestnut Man is not a warm and fuzzy book, right? This is a great palate cleanser. Still gonna give you that like mystery, who's doing what's actually happening, like moment, without like the kind of icky dread that you sometimes feel. I've been on like a real like palate cleanser kick for October. I've read some really heavy books recently, so I was like, I need something fun and warm and fuzzy and lighthearted, but still in like the horror genre. So if that is what you're looking for, definitely check out The Stranger Behind You. It is a 5-star read for me. I devoured this book. This was so easy to read. I think I read it in like 3 days. So much fun. It's not even that long. It's like 300 pages, but just a great, solid, unique read. So yeah, that is all that I have for you guys today. As always, I post every Monday and Thursday and sometimes on Saturdays. I do have my giveaway on my Instagram, again at Violet Prynne. And I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much. Mwah.